There is a creature on this earth that can never be mistaken for another. A living tower of grace, the giraffe. Its golden body, painted with patches of bronze and amber, rises gently toward the sky. At the top of that impossibly long neck sits a small, thoughtful head. With dark, dreaming eyes and lashes long enough to brush the wind. The giraffe is the tallest of all living beings. A silent guardian of the savanna. As high as a two-story house. As heavy as a small car, up to 1,200 kilograms of quiet strength. And yet, 1/3 of its height belongs to its neck. A masterpiece of nature made from just 7 vertebrae. The same number as in your own. A marvel of design. When you watch a giraffe lower its head to drink, you witness a miracle of biology and balance. Its heart, weighing nearly 12 kilograms, beats with the power of a small engine, sending thick, iron-rich blood upward. 3 meters high. To reach a brain that dreams in slow rhythm. Inside that elegant neck, valves open and close like gentle gates, keeping the pressure steady so that the animal never faints, even as it raises and lowers its world. The giraffe's blood is dense. Its flow deliberate, its pulse patient. Atop its head, small horn-like bones called ossicones peek through a crown of fur. Soft to the touch, yet ancient in design. Sometimes a third bump appears on the forehead, as if time itself left a mark there. Its tongue, long and blue like twilight, can stretch half a meter, curling around branches and slipping between thorns, to pluck tender green leaves. Its lips are covered with tiny sensory hairs, nature's delicate sensors, feeling for ripeness, avoiding pain. With every movement, the giraffe eats with the precision of a jeweler and the calm of a monk. Its coat, that patchwork of light and shadow, is not just decoration. Under the savanna sun, those spots become camouflage. Fragments of dappled shade that let the giraffe vanish among acacia trees. The lower belly glows pale, the colors fading into the light of the sand. No two giraffes share the same pattern. Each one is a map, a fingerprint written by evolution and earth. So when you see a giraffe standing in the distance, silent and still against the horizon, know that you are looking at a creature perfectly tuned to life's tallest challenge. A being that carries its heart 3 meters below its mind, and yet lives with such quiet balance, that even the wind seems to bow in respect. Character and way of life. The giraffe is a creature of quiet perception, a sentinel of the savanna, gifted with sharp sight, a keen sense of smell, and ears that never rest. From its great height, it surveys the land, a watchtower of life, overseeing a whole square kilometer of golden grass and whispering trees. At dawn, the giraffes begin to feed, pulling tender leaves from the acacias, their long tongues moving with slow grace. When the sun climbs high and the air trembles with heat, they retreat to the shade, chewing endlessly, their eyes half closed in a gentle trance. Even in rest, they remain alert, their ears twitch at every sound, reading the language of the wind. When night falls, they lie down for short, fragile dreams. And even in sleep, they do not surrender fully to the night. Their bodies fold into a strange, graceful posture, 2 front legs tucked beneath, one hind leg drawn in, the other stretched to the side as a pillow for the head. Their long neck curves into a living arch, like a bridge between earth and stars, ready to spring up at the slightest sign of danger. A giraffe family, a tower, as it is called, may count up to 20 members, mothers with their young, quietly moving between the trees. They wander loosely, gathering together only in the open plains. Mothers stay close to their calves, while others drift in and out of the group at will. Their numbers change with the seasons. Many during the green time of rains. Few when the earth dries and food grows scarce. They move in slow rhythm, stepping with both legs on one side, the elegant pace of the amble. But when alarmed, they break into a gallop, awkward yet astonishing. Their necks sway forward and back, balancing that impossible height. For a few brief minutes, they can run like the wind, reaching speeds near 50 kilometers an hour. And even leaping over 2-meter obstacles, as if Earth itself bends to let them pass. How long do giraffes live? In the wild, their lives stretch no longer than 25 years. A quarter of a century beneath endless skies. But in the calm of human care, within the open-air gardens we call zoos, they can live for 30 years or more. The first giraffes to meet civilization were shown in the ancient zoos of Egypt and Rome, 1500 years before our era began. They came to Europe much later, in the early 1900s. Carried on ships, wrapped against the rain. Their hooves protected by soft leather sandals for the long walk on land. In time, they adapted, bred, and became cherished residents of nearly every great zoo on Earth. For centuries, people believed giraffes were silent, mute spirits of the plains. But scientists later discovered that their voices are many. Calves, when frightened, hum and whimper softly without opening their mouths. Males, during courtship or combat, roar and grunt. Deep, echoing sounds that seem to come from the earth itself. Sometimes they cough harshly, or snort through their nostrils, sending puffs of dust into the dawn. And so, the giraffe lives between stillness and motion, silence and sound, earth and sky. A living poem written in height and patience. The watcher of horizons. The quiet heartbeat of the savanna. Subspecies and habitats of the giraffe. Each giraffe carries on its body a living map, a pattern of light and shadow shaped by the land it calls home. For centuries, biologists debated how many kinds of these tall wanderers walk across the African plains. Eventually, they agreed, there are 9 subspecies of giraffe. Each one is distinct in color and pattern, yet all are connected through nature's quiet design. Let's take a slow journey across Africa and meet them. The Angolan giraffe lives in Botswana and Namibia. Its coat is pale, almost sandy, as if brushed by the desert winds. The Kordofan giraffe roams through the Central African Republic and Western Sudan. It has smaller, irregular patches, an adaptation to the dry, dusty landscape. The Thornycroft's giraffe is found only in Zambia's Luangwa Valley. Its dark, vine-like spots seem painted by the setting sun. The West African giraffe once wandered freely across all of West Africa, but now survives only in Chad. Its golden coat still glows under the open sky, a fragile remnant of what was once a vast population. The Maasai giraffe, native to Tanzania and southern Kenya, wears wild, jagged markings, bold and unpredictable, just like the savannas it inhabits. The Nubian giraffe can be found in western Ethiopia and eastern Sudan. Its rich brown patches, framed by bright ivory lines, create the impression of an ancient mosaic. The reticulated giraffe, from northern Kenya and southern Somalia, has one of the most striking coats, a perfect lattice of white lines, as if the animal were wrapped in a net of light. The Rothschild's giraffe, also known as the Ugandan giraffe, stands gracefully among Uganda's open woodlands. Its pale legs and soft caramel patterns give it a dignified, almost royal appearance. The South African giraffe inhabits the open lands of South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe. Its patches are deep and fiery, glowing beneath the sharp African sun. A fascinating truth about these animals is that no 2 giraffes share the same pattern. Each coat is a signature, an individual design, shaped by sunlight, trees, and time. Natural habitat. Giraffes belong entirely to Africa. They live where the sky seems endless, among the wide savannas and dry forests of the continent's south and east. These are places where the air shimmers with heat, and acacia trees stretch upward like green clouds. Long ago, giraffes also lived north of the Sahara. But those herds vanished thousands of years ago, during the time of ancient Egypt, leaving behind only their painted likenesses on temple walls. Over the last century, their territory has grown smaller. Now, most giraffes live within protected parks and nature reserves, where people try to preserve what remains of their natural rhythm. And so they remain, tall silhouettes against the setting sun, their shadows stretching across the grass. The giraffe is more than an animal, it is a living symbol of grace, patience, and survival, a quiet reminder of how beauty endures, even when the world around it changes. Diet of the giraffe. In the stillness of the African morning, when the sun spills its first light across the savanna, the giraffe begins its quiet meal. These gentle giants feed mostly at dawn and dusk, spending nearly half their day, around 12 hours, slowly chewing their way through the treetops. Their favorite meal is the acacia tree, its tender leaves, flowers, and seed pods form the heart of their diet. But giraffes are not picky eaters. In total, they feed on nearly 50 different kinds of plants. When the rains bless the land, they graze on soft, fresh grasses. But when the dry season arrives and the earth cracks under the heat, they adapt, nibbling on fallen leaves, dry pods, and any shrub strong enough to survive the drought. Giraffes belong to the family of ruminants, animals that chew their food twice. You can often see one walking slowly, head swaying high above the grass, still chewing. It's a patient rhythm, a constant movement of the jaw that helps them digest faster, though it consumes much of their time. A fascinating detail, giraffes are sometimes called browsers or even leaf strippers, because they pluck delicate shoots, leaves, and flowers from great heights, places few other animals can reach. Their long, dark tongues, nearly half a meter in length, curl around thorny branches with ease, stripping away the tender parts while avoiding the spikes. Despite their size, giraffes are surprisingly modest eaters. An adult male consumes around 65 kilograms of greenery a day, while females and younger individuals eat slightly less, about 57 kilograms. Sometimes, when food is scarce or minerals are lacking, giraffes bend down to lick the earth, absorbing nutrients from the soil itself. And though they can go for long stretches without drinking, since nearly 70% of their water comes from the plants they eat, when they finally approach a waterhole, they do so with calm purpose, spreading their long legs wide to lower their necks and drink deeply. It's a strange, graceful sight, a creature built for the sky, bowing down to meet its reflection in the water. Natural predators and reproduction of the giraffe. Even with their towering height and immense strength, giraffes are not entirely safe in the wild. The vast plains of Africa are home to many predators, and even giants must stay alert. It's the young giraffes, still fragile and untested, who face the greatest danger. Among their enemies are lions, leopards, hyenas, and African wild dogs. For any predator, bringing down a giraffe is no small task, it takes skill, teamwork, and a great deal of courage. A single, well-aimed kick from those powerful front legs can crush a skull or break a spine. Many hunters have learned the hard way that a giraffe is never an easy meal. Adult giraffes, however, live with confidence. Their height lets them see danger long before it arrives, and their calm awareness often saves them from ambush. Reproduction and offspring. A female giraffe gives birth to her first calf at around 5 years of age, while males mature later and face fierce competition. Only the strongest, largest, and healthiest males earn the right to pass on their genes. Many of them live solitary lives, wandering up to 20 kilometers a day in search of a mate. But not every traveler is welcome, dominant males guard their herds closely. When rivals meet, they engage in a ritualistic battle known as necking. They swing their long necks like hammers, striking each other's bodies with the full force of their heads. The one who endures stands tall, tail raised high, the silent sign of victory. When a female is ready to mate, the male senses it by smell. After conception, she carries her calf for 15 long months, a quiet endurance under the hot African sun. And then, one day, standing tall among her kind, she gives birth, without lying down. The newborn, nearly 2 meters tall and weighing about 70 kilograms, dropped straight to the ground. It's a shocking start to life, a fall from the sky, but within minutes, the calf wobbles to its feet. Half an hour later, it's already drinking its mother's milk. Within a week, the baby learns to run. Another week, and it begins to nibble at the leaves its mother loves so much. She nurses it for about a year, guarding it closely from danger. By 18 months, the young giraffe is strong enough to stand on its own, a new life rising quietly into the endless African sky. Population and conservation status. Among all the creatures of the African savanna, few embody peace and quiet majesty like the giraffe. Gentle by nature, they have long coexisted harmoniously with local people. For centuries, African tribes treated the giraffe with respect, hunting it rarely and using every part with purpose. Its meat was a source of food, tendons were turned into strings for musical instruments, its thick hide became strong shields, its hair, fine paintbrushes, and even its tail was crafted into bracelets. But everything changed with the arrival of Europeans. Before that time, giraffes roamed freely across nearly the entire African continent. When hunting rifles appeared, so did greed, and soon, organized safaris began to decimate their numbers. Entire herds were wiped out, not for survival, but for sport. It's sobering to know that in just a few generations, the global giraffe population dropped by almost half. Today, the species is listed in the International Red Book with the status least concern, yet that title is misleading. While giraffes are not on the brink of extinction, their numbers continue to fall, this time not from bullets, but from the steady advance of human civilization. Cities expand, farms grow, forests shrink, and the open lands where giraffes once wandered are vanishing. In modern Africa, hunting these animals is forbidden, but laws alone cannot bring back the lost space they once called home. The greatest threat to the giraffe today is not the lion's claws or the hunter's rifle, it's the silent spread of human footprints across the savanna. In the end, one truth remains constant: humanity has always been both the guardian and the destroyer of nature. And though we no longer hunt the giraffe, we are still pushing it away, step by step, from the land that shaped its grace. Here's the video. If you liked it, please give a thumbs up and subscribe. See you next time.